How can a man with no legs run faster than the truth, and why would he break a woman's heart trying to? That's what I asked myself the night I met Kofi, a man with no legs who everyone thought was a hero. He sold trinkets in our neighborhood, near the bustling market. Kofi was always laughing, telling jokes, surrounded by people who loved his courage and good humor. But I saw something different when I looked into his eyes, something haunted. I didn't know his real story until he told me over a bottle of the cheap stuff he always drank. We were sitting in a dimly lit corner of a roadside food joint, a place full of laughter, sizzling meat, and the distant beat of Afrobeats. That night, Kofi leaned in, eyes narrowed, voice low, and said, "You ever wonder what it's like to be cursed by the one you love?" I shook my head, but the way he asked made me listen close. Years ago, Kofi wasn't the man he was now. He was wealthy, had both legs, and was known as one of the city's most successful land brokers. But his success came from tricking people. He'd steal land from old folks, make sweet promises to widows, even turn friends against each other for a quick deal. He was famous, always in fancy suits, his face on billboards. Then there was Abina. She was a quiet beauty who worked at a cafe near his office, and she was everything he wasn't: humble, genuine, kind. She didn't care about his money or the stories of his success. She loved the man he was beneath all that. Slowly, Kofi softened. He even promised her a future, talked about marriage, about settling down on a little piece of land where they'd build a life together. But love wasn't enough to stop his greed. One day, a massive deal came his way, a piece of land that could make him richer than ever. But the land belonged to a disabled man named Kwame, who'd lived on it his whole life. Kwame was madly in love with Abine too, though she didn't know it. When he found out about Kofi and Abina, he was devastated. Still, Kofi convinced him to sign over the land, promising Kwame that he'd get something better in return and that it would help him let go of his feelings for Abina. Kwame trusted Kofi, but within days, the deal closed, and Kwame had nothing. He was left heartbroken, penniless, and alone. And when he found out Kofi was going to use the money from that land to fund his life with Abina, he went into a rage. He stormed into Kofi's office, begging him to reverse the deal. But Kofi had made up his mind. "You'll regret this," Kwame whispered that day, his eyes brimming with hurt. That night, he was found dead on the same land Kofi had taken, some said from heartbreak, others from a stroke. Abina heard what Kofi had done and broke off the engagement, refusing to marry a man who could betray so deeply. Kofi didn't believe in curses until everything started to fall apart. Deals went bad, friends turned on him, and one night, he was in a terrible car crash. When he woke up in the hospital, he had no legs. He tried to call Abina, desperate to explain himself, to make things right, but she never answered. She had disappeared from the city, taking only her memories of him and leaving Kofi with nothing but guilt. "Now look at me," he said that night at the food joint, tapping his empty pant legs. "The city calls me a survivor, a hero, but I'm just a man running from the love I betrayed. I lost Abina, my life, my legs, all because I thought I could take from others and still keep her heart." He downed the last of his drink and rolled himself away, leaving me with a hollow feeling that sat in my gut for days. Sometimes, I see him in the market, still telling jokes, still pretending he's happy. But I know better. The truth is, Kofi's haunted not just by the man he betrayed, but by the woman he lost, the love he'll never outrun. Thank you for watching the story of Kofi, Abina, and Kwame, a tale of love, betrayal, and redemption. If this story touched your heart, taught you something, or left you reflecting on life's choices, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who loves storytelling, and subscribe for more powerful tales that explore the depth of the human spirit. Together, let's keep these stories alive and continue the journey of learning through them. See you in the next story.